Welcome back, everybody, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Man Knows Hip Hop podcast. With me, you know who, the boy Slack, and my co-host extraordinaire snuck in the building.
E Major, what's good, everyone? Hey, once again, Man Knows Hip Hop, the podcast that knows and celebrates hip hop. Slack, what you saying, my bro?
All good, my brother, all good. On to another week. I lost track of the episodes, so I'm going to take a guess. What, 20?
Perfect. There you go. Episode 20, man.
See it there.
Spot on.
Episode 20. Wow. Okay. Feels weird, but it's gone so quick, but slow at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So just a big thank you to everybody for interacting with us and watching, giving us some great feedback. Basically, the reason that we continue to do it, you know what I mean? People always show love and appreciate, man. So we really appreciate you. So thank you. And our topic today is rap beef. Now we're not doing this in any way as any kind of clickbait on YouTube or anything like that. We just wanted to compare it in like a hip hop sense, not in any kind of promoting any beef or any of that, as I'm sure you get from our conversation. And we know people like to use beef for clickbait and stuff like that, you know. So we're not on that page at all. So Easter, man, let the people know, man. How do you come up with this topic? Why do you think we'll be discussing that today?
Funny enough, it was one of your tweets, bro. I think you were speaking about the whole slaughterhouse situation. I think someone was like promoting some garbage, man, and you made a very mature comment and said like, you know what I mean? It's people like this that are hyping up the thing, and then when it goes left now, they're going to be the same people wanting to wear T-shirts and saying RIP. Do you know what I mean? Which is a very valid point, man. So I started thinking about your tweet, and I think I hit you up at that time, and I was like, yeah, bro, we need to do an episode on beefs, man. And it's funny enough because after that, I was thinking about it as well. My brethren Cal hit me up and was like, bro, have you not done anything on beefs yet? And I was like, no, we're thinking about doing it soon though. So shout out to Cal. But yeah, you know what though? The reason I thought it'd be another good thing for us to look at as well, because like you said, the whole slaughterhouse thing, and you're right. Yeah, I mean, hit the nail on the head. But let's be honest though, when it's done well and like no lives are lost and nothing like that, bro, they're enjoyable times in hip hop, man. Let's be real. Do you know what I'm saying? Come on, it's like when you're in school, isn't it? And this is gonna make me look really bad, bro. I ain't glorifying fighting or nothing like that, but you know what it was like when you was in school with certain people were having fights, bro. Come on, man.
What about your mum? No.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I talk about I personally, me, couldn't be me. But if that's you, that's fine. Cool.
That's it, man. It's that, you know how we are, man. Little instigators, isn't it? Notes going around and that. Oh, they're fighting at lunchtime. That's what I'm saying. You don't even need food, boy. You just go into the spot, the park behind the school, isn't it, where the fight's gonna happen. But that's just, you know what I mean, the little, you know what I mean, mischievous side of us. But so yeah, before we look at a bit of beef like that, so in that sense, then let me throw a question to you. How do you feel about beef and hip hop? Because it was you that made the valid point about it going sideways and blah blah blah. But then at the same time, if we're honest, if it's done right, it's enjoyable, isn't it? So, what's your thoughts on like battles and beefs in hip hop?
I've got quite a bit to say on this on the topic. I don't know where to start. So, I have no problem with battles. You know, battling and is a big part of hip hop. Always has been. Based on, you know, the dozens from back in the day. Someone will say something about you, you got to come back and say something better, and whoever wins is the guy. We have a thriving battle scene in hip hop right now, where people fight with their lyrics rather than it resorting to violence. So there's a massive difference between battling and beef in hip hop. And a trend that I see that I really, really hate, and I keep touching on it on my Twitter account, is a lot of these websites, magazines, and stuff nowadays promoting beef are run by white people, and it really pisses me off, man, because it's like no part of this. You're not part of this culture. All you want to do is go, this guy said this about this guy, and this guy responds, and you're continually pushing this stuff. That's why I've got such a big problem with that Vlad guy, because he was inciting beef between Joe Budden and Ransom. That wasn't just music. You know, one of them could have ended up dead.
Yeah.
That's why Joe still has a problem with him to this day, because they're using arguments that are real. It's not like just a battle, you know, on a record. This is people are willing to go see people with other people, constantly being stirred by these Vlad types. And I keep seeing it. Their whole website is dedicated to this person said this about that. It's just constant degenerate behavior. They say nothing about music, like nothing about the album. Like they wouldn't be able to tell you, you know, about the history of the albums or
true.
But all they know is beef. That's what your whole website is, and your whole Twitter account and Insta and YouTube is built around, is beef among black rappers. And I hate that passionately. So part of the larger picture around beef and hip hop is we've actually seen people killed whilst we were still kids. We saw two Biggie killed over beef that was perpetuated by, again, media, man.
That's all it was.
You see what I'm saying? And then that's why I put the tweet up, because it's like, you perpetuate this shit, you pick a side, East versus West. You can't be in the middle, otherwise you're a pussy. Pick one. So if you like, even if you like both of them as I did, it's like, yeah, okay, you got to pick a side. And then we end up seeing them like murdered. It wasn't like one of them walked out in front of a bus, one of them fell from a building. You know, both of them were killed. So I don't know, just looking at that in real time, it's like, this is just unnecessary. This is like, you could have kept this literally. You say something about this guy, you say something about him, okay, that's it. But if you think they were talking about fucking other people's wives, not even a girlfriend. So it just went to a whole different place, and you just don't want to see that.
No, 100%, man.
Yeah, like, what I think is really the most annoying thing about it is beef or battling is like a large part of why I was interested in hip hop, because that whole culture of I say something, you say something, and whoever's the best wins is cool to me. So it's the whole other aspect that I don't like, and that we're kind of focusing on today's show. I like it when it's lyrical. I hate it when it's not.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to see it, the violence and all of that stuff. Like, you know, if you say it, that's cool. Like, if you make it clever and put it in a verse or whatever. But when it actually is like, oh yeah, I need to see this guy, I don't want to see that no more. I don't want to see that kind of stuff anymore. What about you, man?
No, I fully agree, man. Like, you know, I mean, we talk about the Biggie and Tupac thing. We know, obviously, outside influences and different scenarios. I don't know what happened with that, you know, the whole Vegas thing. So we understand that. And, you know, like you said, that was more of a beef, you know, but that was really hyped up, like you said, by media and other people, man, and outside influences. Because even Nas has told the story, you know what I mean? Like, Tupac never really had no beef with Nas, you know what I mean? In that sense, he was just like, look, man, I'm trying to sell some records or what have you. A lot of the time, man, it's something that you do. Like, you look at boxing, bro, you look at all that trash talk that boxers do, getting up in each other's faces. I know it can get messy sometimes in the weigh-ins and stuff like that, but sometimes the way they're talking to each other and the way they're up in each other's faces, you're like, nah, bro, I ain't having that, man. They'll box. As soon as the fight's over, they're hugging and shaking and spudging. It's cool. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you don't know what to do. It's over. Right. But with music, man. Right, yeah. And even the respect is that, bro, I don't care who's listening, man. Sometimes I got one rule. I'm a parent, as many of you know. I got one rule when it comes to my kids: never be a bully and never allow yourself to be bullied. So that's 2 rules: never be a bully, never allow yourself to be a bully. But listen, if my kids come home and say something to me, daddy, so and so was blah blah blah, listen, I will go to them and say, you know what, that person needs a clap. That's all it is. You understand what I'm saying? Talk, say, listen, you need to stop that. Give them 1 or 2 warning. They ain't listening. That needs a clap. Every single time that's happened, they've been cool after. Because sometimes people just need to have a little come to blow. The respect is there after. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Bare rappers, man, they have that clash. It's like a lyrical exercise. They're beefing. It's like a boxing match. They respect each other after. They've gone on. It's cool. But like you're talking, man, when you get all that outside influence, media, this person, your crew, that crew, this person, don't take that, this, right, and you get lives lost. You know what I mean? Like, look at it in the last few years, how many lives have been lost over stupidity, bro. I was watching this thing on this documentary on it might have been, was it Chicago? Forgive me, man, the city's gone, but it's just about like hip hop and rappers that have died in hip hop and that, not like big names that we always hear about, but just like local names and beefs and stuff like that. The amount of people that's just getting shot left, right, and center, having to relocate or dying, and this person, they're like 18, 19, 20 years old. You know what I mean? And you just like, it's ridiculous, man. I got friends, we got mutual friends, you know what I mean? We know people that are not here now, lost their life 16, 17, 18 over an argument, bro, at school. You know what I'm saying? And you just think, what's the point? But yeah, so to answer your question, man, if it's done right, but I'm probably going to get gunned down for this, but I'm not a big fan of battle rap. I heard someone say, I don't know how you can be into hip hop and not like battle rap. I love hip hop, man. It runs through me, but I've just never really got into battle rap for some reason. But I have been to battle raps live. You know what I mean? My brethren have been like, let's go, and I've gone. Bro, the atmosphere is insane, bro. Like, nothing like it. When it's done right, bro, it's a beautiful thing to see, man. Just healthy battling, the skill, the comebacks, everything like that, man. And even on record, when you're hearing artists go at each other back and forth, bro, it will sharpen your skill. So when it's done right, I don't mind it at all. If it's leading to lives being lost and stupidity, I ain't got time for it. Do you know what I mean? So in that sense, if it can stay on wax, I'm all for it. I'm one of those people that get excited about it if it's gonna stay on wax. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's me, man. That's sort of like how I feel about it in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's an unfortunate part of hip hop, I guess, because when you think about the amount of lives that have lost, like, and as you said, from such a young age, like those are careers that, you know, we'll never see the end of. We'll never know what big impact could have been. You know what I mean? Mid-20s, for God's sake. Like they were nowhere near having things figured out. As much as we like to put on them, you know, the decisions they made and the things that they did. And I'm like, bro, they were early 20s. Like, think of what we was doing when we was in the early madness.
Crazy, man.
Absolute madness. We think about it now, we're like, why did I leave my house at 10 o'clock going to look for these guys with these guys? Like, when I could be tucked up in bed.
You could have not been here now, bro. Like, do you know what I mean?
Not been here, bro. Like, it's crazy. So as you said, man, on wax, keep it as disrespectful as possible. I think we still need the disrespectful lines in there, because
of course, man.
It's gonna make you like, oh,
of course.
So keep that in there, but yeah, when it gets to the whole other element, man, we've seen enough. It just needs to. We can't be doing RIP tweets, man, like every month, every week. You know, when they were talking about the amount of deaths in Memphis, bro, man, that is horrible. So many rappers have, like, we might not have heard of them or know of all of their music or whatever, but there's a lot of like locally famous rappers. They're just getting shot like it's nothing.
Yeah, I think it might have been Memphis. It might have been that, you know, the thing I watched. I know it weren't Chicago, actually. It might have been that. It was like a documentary on BBC. It might be that I'm actually thinking of. But yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah, man, a lot is happening there, man. So moving on from that, I guess, as in we both feel a way about how beef plays a part in hip hop. But on a lighter note, I guess,
Yeah.
what would you say was what's your favorite couple battles that you could think of in hip hop?
Boy, okay, man. I know, Mr. Obvious here, but looking at a few, obviously, there's a few standouts, and a lot of it is our era when we came in, what we is actually old enough to understand, and different things like that. But yeah, it's got to be Jay-Z, Nas. Do you know what I'm saying? And let me just say this: I am not one of those people that 20 years later I'm still putting them against each other. Nah, bro. They deem each other as brothers. They're cool. Listen, I'm not one of them people, man. Like I've said before, I've had people say to me, "Oh, I don't rate Nas as highly because Jay's my favorite." Listen, man, like really nothing to do with that at all. I'm not. I don't care, to be honest. But I have to mention that because for me, that was a major thing at the time. Where 2001. Obviously, there was a few to speak about it a little bit. Obviously, there's a few back and forths. You know what I'm saying? But I'll never forget, man. When I was playing Blueprint, listening to Blueprint, and I remember I was in my sitting room. I was just blasting it loud, and I heard obviously Takeover in it, and I just thought it was brilliantly done, man. Like the way he would rap the normal verse, you wouldn't think there's no drama. He's just doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? Around that time, everyone hated Jay. Around that time, artists, I mean. But it was the second verse. I'm just listening, bopping, thinking, yeah. And then, as you know, at the end of the second verse, he takes that shot at Prodigy, innit? And Nas as well, sorry. But I just thought it was so cleverly done. It's such a minor thing, but I loved it. The way how he done it right at the end of the verse, so the chorus coming. So,
yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're like, bro, what did he just say? So you now have to sit through the chorus and wait to hear what else he's gonna say.
Yeah.
And I just thought you killed it, man. So I thought Tape was hard. I love the beat, you know what I mean? I think what he's saying was grimy, how he was doing it. I thought there was a lot of disrespect there. And obviously we wanted to hear what Nas came back with. Obviously we know, do you know what I mean? Ether. There were definitely some jaw-dropping moments in Ether, man, without a shadow of a doubt. It was like, whoa, okay. And that was the toned down one. Do you know what I mean? There was like deeper lyrics there that weren't even put out.
A raw version.
Exactly. So, we had the back and forth. We had the Super Ugly, the Got Yourself, different things that it was going at each other. But it was entertaining for me, man. I ain't going to lie. You had the whole Summer Jam thing. And, you know what I mean? It was an interesting battle, man. So when I think about battles, that's got to be one of my favorite ones. I think the way they're going at each other, and I'm just going to say it, bro, because I don't really care. When Jay said, like, he kind of resurrected Nas's career, I ain't saying Nas was dead. Nas never could be dead, like with what he put out. But I genuinely believe to this day, it was that battle that gave Nas the fire that he needed again to come back with Stillmatic. I don't know what album we would have got in 2001 if it wasn't for them two going at each other. Do you know what I'm saying? And I know to this day, to if I look at who won, obviously you got to go at the majority, innit? You know what I mean? So obviously everyone's saying Nas won. You can't really disagree with that because he did come back in a way that was like, oh, do you know what I mean? When you listen to like Memphis Bleak and then people talk about what it was like in Rockefeller when they heard Ether, do you know what I'm saying? You got to say to yourself, okay, Nas got it. Do you know what I'm saying? Jay started the thing and Nas took it home at the end of the day. Jay will say himself, I lost. Do you know what I'm saying? But it was interesting, man. And I think it was a good time for hip hop. And it was good to see the outcome of that, man. So yeah, I'd put that down as one of my standouts or one of my favorites, man. What would one be for you?
50 Cent and Ja Rule.
Although
that there was some violence in there, I'm strictly talking about the back and forths. I'm not talking about who punched who got stabbed, who got shot, whatever. That it did get to that. It did get to that point. So I'm strictly talking about the records.
Yeah, definitely.
what I did like was 50 hated Ja Rule as much as I did, so I was fully on board with G Unit. I was loving every bit of it,
I
man.
bet.
In every inch, because the way 50 dismantled this guy, and people will go, oh yeah, but it's the FBI and all this bullshit. I'm not talking about none of the outside shit. I'm talking about records. So the records that 50 was dropping on this guy, even on his multi-super million selling album, and he's got a diss track on there. Oh man, body blow. That was
definitely.
And the fact that it was produced by Dre, and the fact that it was a fire song as well. Nah, Back Down isn't talked about enough as one of the best hip hop disses, in my opinion.
It was savage, man.
Especially at the end.
Well. Dirty kids in that, you know.
But bro, like, to start the ride, we got dirty ass kids or fucking racist. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, bro, that's crazy. That is crazy. So yeah, man, I love the fact that when he got like Busta Rhymes on a song to just chew that guy up as well. And again, like over the Hail Mary beat, like who thought of it? This was genius. This was absolutely genius, man. Just so many, so many, even like Lloyd Banks, even Game dropped some fire on them Murder Inc. as well, man. Absolutely destroyed, to the point where but like Ja Rule was always a bit of a joke to us. Our generation, I know, like the younger generation under us, the ones that will sit at home and watch like Top of the Pops or some shit like that, they might like all that poppy bubblegum bullshit. But for me, no, it was never hitting. I thought Ja Rule was whack from day one. So all of this, it's revisionist. I'm like, I couldn't name one rhyme from that dude. One song, like, he tore that. Do you know what I mean? Not one. I think I like the Holla Holla remix because Busta Rhymes and all them was on it. I couldn't tell you Ja Rule's verse.
Nah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, even on his biggest tunes, people were liking it because of the melody and because of Ashanti. Ja Rule's, he's not. Do you know what I mean? He was not a good rapper. He's just not. He sounded like
he was a hit maker. He had hits.
Yeah,
you know I mean? But like you said, none of us took him seriously. I've never been a Ja Rule fan.
Tunes, you take J-Lo off them tunes, you take all them women off them tunes. Nobody buying that shit, bro. You need an accomplice on everything. You know what I mean? You need another artist. Like, you're not carrying nothing on your own. So there was always like a Little Mo chorus and a Shanty chorus. You know what I mean? So so I was loving to see that he was getting tore up, man. And then just to see, like, there was a whole mixtape. I think it was like a 4-disc 50 Cent mixtape. And he had like enough tunes on there, and loads of them were just disses to Ja Rule. And then when the whole Aftermath got involved, Dr. Dre produced another banger on Obi Trice's album, which is a fan. Another disgusted swipe at them. So yeah, the music was good.
It was.
This is good. They were good songs, and ones that I can still play today. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just okay, he said that but like you said, even with Takeover, like when that comes on, I'm still like, yeah, this is hard. This is the tune. So I like that element of it, and the fact that nothing that Ja Rule can say will really convince me otherwise. Then he got absolutely eaten by 50 in that lot. So
what were your thoughts though? Did you hear any? Obviously, I know you don't like him, and I'm saying it again. I've never been a Ja Rule fan, but what did you think of any of the comebacks? Did you listen to any of them? Like,
they were always light. I mean, he did that Blood in My Eye or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that, but that was too late. Like, no one cared at that point. And he was going for some harder beats on there.
Yeah, the beats were hard. Yeah.
But again, like, can anyone tell you with this off that was memorable? Nah, you can't, because it was just shit. Basically, no one cared what you were saying because you were done already. And if the disses were good, like, I could still recite Back Down to this day. I could say every single word. I couldn't tell you one line of Ja Rule. I think he said something about Eminem, something about his daughter that I think was kind of like Kim is a known slut, so what's Haley going to be when she grows up, or something like that?
That was it, yeah. And I think that tipped Eminem over the edge a bit more, man. But yeah,
yeah. So I think that was, I think that's the only line I could think of from him. You know what I mean? I could even some of the Eminem bars that he had on a couple of the songs. I could probably remember most of those too. So yeah, there was just nothing that Ja Rule did that made me think he had a chance really in any aspect. And the funniest part was when he said in an interview, the best form of revenge is success, baby, is success. And then 50 comes out and just blows his ass out the water.
Oh wow, that's actually crazy.
Man. It was so funny. So that's another one I think that just gets talked about still to this day. We're gonna be talking 20 years. Well, it's about 20 years now.
It like because it was like 03, innit? 02, 03,
2003. So it was kind of around now, really. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're talking 20 years, bro.
Yeah,
and people still can't talk about one without talking about the other up to this day. Exactly. It's always like, if you say, "Oh, 50 Cent's good," some dickhead would be like, "Oh, but Ja Rule was too." Like,
that's how you know when a battle was significant.
Exactly.
Still putting them against each other. That's
exactly. True. Yeah.
Same
with Jay-Z. Like you said, no one can. Every time I go to put a tweet on the timeline about Jay-Z, I'm like, okay, let's wait and see someone mention Nas within 2 fucking tweets. Oh yes, but Nas, like, bro.
Every time, man. Every time.
Without fail, man. You can't ever drop a tweet about one without someone following up with some bullshit about the other one. Like, I didn't ask that, bro. I don't care. Like, I'm talking about this.
Yeah, we're still stuck. I remember he was in an interview. It might have even been like Angie Martinez or something, Nas. And she said something about Jay, and he was like, no, she wanted to talk about Ether or something. And he was like, I don't even want to talk about that. Like, I don't even like thinking about them times, man. Like, we're brothers now. That's like gone now. It's like, we just don't let things go, man. It's like, like it's like have an argument 25 years ago and it's never gonna be gone. Do you know what I mean? He says,
I could say something there, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
If you're holding back, I better let you then. In case we get shut down. But all right, yeah, good call. 50 Ja Rule. Yeah, that was a good time. All right, I'll throw a second one. Well, I was gonna ask you who won, but obviously we know who you're gonna pick for that one. All right, I'm gonna go with Dr. Dre and Eazy-E. That's got to be a standout one for me, man, as well. The reason I want to pick that one as well is because of the time it was. Like, I was still pretty young around them times. I was probably like 11, 12, but obviously into hip hop hard. And I remember like hearing it and watching the video for Dre Day. You know what I'm saying? And you had like, I still call him Zell from Friday, but like I can't remember his name, but and he was dressed up as Easy in it. You know, they just took the piss out of him, bro, like hard. But Dre Day's such a hard track. Like, I don't even listen to it thinking, oh, this is a mad diss track. It's just a hard track anyway. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But they're going at obviously Tim Dog, other people, and then dissing Easy. But they're just that was a significant diss track, man. But Eazy-E's though, that real motherfucking G's, bro. Ooh. Nah, man, that's like.
You know what was funny about that? Do you know what I loved about that? He dropped this album.
Yeah.
He didn't just drop a tune and be like, yeah, there you go. But he got the whole named it what was it? It's on Dr.
Dr. J 187 Kilo or something. But yeah. You kind of
I was like, this guy is that's hard. Like to drop an album.
The whole thing, you know. Bro, like he just weren't holding back, man. And you know what I mean? When you think about it, they were like, obviously Dre's gone to do his do you know what I mean? Like the Chronic and that whole movement there that he's doing. So we know it's obviously a massive thing. Death Row, because he was obviously gone and done his Easy's gone and done his Ruthless and whatever they're doing, the split there. So we know it was something big, and I ain't even bringing NWA or nothing like that. I'm just talking about just the whole like the Dre and Eazy-E fallout between the two of them. That one, you felt like someone's gonna die. Do you know what I mean? That felt like this is gonna get out of hand. You know what I'm saying? And Easy's not even a rapper like that. When I say not a rapper like that, I mean I like Easy. Like I shouldn't, but I do. You just gotta like Easy E. You know what I'm saying? But when I heard him on that track, man, with BG Knockout and the other guys on there, bro, I'm just thinking, no, this is actually like insane. Like to this day, someone posted up like what track, and I think I have to give it to Easy. You know what I mean? Like that track, man. Do you know what I mean? Just the little things like and when you think about it, the rhymes are really, really basic. I mean, Dre and Snoop rap basic as well, but I mean, Easy's probably because of the voice as well. It's like overly basic. You know what I mean? Like when he's just saying like, obviously Dre days made Easy's payday. It's like, okay, so every time Dre's making money, Easy's getting paid for it. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like he's won, isn't it? Hands down. But I thought that was a significant battle, man, because like you said, we got EPs out of it. It was going on for a while, the back and forth. It was good hip hop as well, like enjoyable hip hop. Do you know what I'm saying? And it was significant, man. When you look at it like 91, 92 times, West Coast was on fire. You know what I'm saying? And they were two of the biggest names in hip hop. Do you know what I'm saying? NWA, we know how huge they were, the impact they made, what Dre went on to do, what Easy was going on to do. So yeah, I've got to list that down as one of the most enjoyable. And I feel wrong saying enjoyable, but you know what I'm saying? The most impactful piece in hip hop, man.
Sure, impactful. Look at the career that was built off that.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
I had a Snoop and whatever if he wasn't on the Chronic and stuff. So
this is what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good thing, man. I remember in Just for the Beat, shout out Tottenham as well every time. That big massive poster as well of like I think it was Tim Dogg's track when he was just going on them. It just felt like a time where just everyone was going on it, and obviously with Dre Day, they were just unleashing on everyone. But it just felt like Easy held his own on that, man. And for me, I may be gunned down in the comments or whatever, but who Easy was running with and promoting on that track, I didn't know much from them, but they were hard. Like they held it up. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like this is actually a mad track. So yeah, if I was to say who won, if we're only going by the music, I've got to give it to Easy E. If we're only going by the music, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so that would be the second one I'll choose, man. Who you got for number two?
Number two for me will be LL Cool J and Cannabis.
All right.
Can I Bus? First of all, I think we touched. Well, I think I might have touched on this before, where I was like, LL was a bitch for what he did, because I don't know, call me crazy, but if you got something to say to an MC, why are you going to remove or change your verse to be dissing this guy? Like that's pussy. Like to
real talk, man.
Change your verse and diss the guy, blindside him, so he's like, oh, that's not the verse that I heard. You know, so you've literally got in to be like, no, scrap that verse. Let me diss the guy who's just chewed me up on my own shit. That's some vaginal behavior.
I agree, man. I agree.
So I was definitely in Cannabis corner for this because I can't be back in that guy doing that. And I didn't think he had a chance, to be honest with you. When you heard how Cannabis was rapping in 97, 98, I'm sorry, but LL didn't have a chance. And then when second round KO come out, everyone was like, oh my God. That bass line is
killed it, man.
Disrespectful.
Killed it.
The bass line is disrespectful. And like the beat, it sounds like a monster's chasing you. It's just like that dun dun dun. Like if that was in a horror movie, it'll be that kind of, you know what I mean? That kind of, it was menacing. And then for him to be saying what he was saying there, that's like, hello, just bow out now, just retire, just hang up the mic. You're taking too many blows in this round.
Throw in the towel, literally, bro.
Throw it in, bro. Throw it in. When he said that line about what was it about Farrakhan? Let your wife get on the horn, come in as the Farrakhan.
Yeah, so you can tell. Yeah, killed it.
I said no, he started it. He forgot what a hardcore artist is. I was like, come on, man.
He actually killed it.
He killed that whole shit, and then getting Mike Tyson in for the video and that, genius, man, genius. So yeah, man, that was definitely my favorite, second favorite, but mainly because Cannabis tore that guy out, man.
Yeah, he went in, bro. He went in.
People Rip the Jackals was a good response.
Hard. I think it was hard, bro. I was shocked. I ain't gonna lie. Not shocked because I know he's capable, but I just thought at that point in time he came back harder than I thought he'd come back. Put it that way.
Yeah, that's fair. Because a lot of people weren't expecting him to come back like that. It's just a shame that Cannabis's album was not good. Because if he was able to deliver like a better album on the back of that, I think that might have been good for him. But unfortunately, so who would I say won? Well, for me, Cannabis won because second round knockout is second round knockout. LL, yeah, I don't think you can win once you blindsided a guy like that, like he did. So yeah, I've got to give that one to Cannabis because I think what LL did was no bueno.
Yeah, I agree, man. And it's when you think about it, it's a madness because it's like that whole thing, even though it was enjoyable for us and good for hip hop, as we're talking about today, but that whole thing was avoidable, man. He took a whole like one line when he said, "What did he say? Let me borrow that mic from your arm." Cannabis.
Yeah, how's that disrespectful,
bro? And he feels like he was like, you know what I mean, like trying to downplay him and disrespect. So that whole thing, before you just say to the man, "I ain't really feeling that bar," you know, can you change it? Like,
exactly.
He's gone and done a whole thing and done it. You know what though, man? It's crazy because I don't know if it's an ego thing. Because when you look at hopefully you haven't got this listed down. I'm gonna guess you haven't. When you look at KRS, have you? Okay, I won't say what I was gonna say then. But I won't gonna say what I was gonna say then. But what I was gonna say, I mean, forget that. But yeah, in regards to that LL Cannabis, like I said, I was surprised when he came back, but when Cannabis was like 99% of your fans were high heels, that was like, but then when LL came back with the 99% of your fans don't exist, that was what I thought. Bro. I was like, bro, come on, man. I remember me and my Bridges were laughing because it's like, bro, that's like the worst bar I've heard. 99% of your fans don't exist. It was just like, bro, like, well, they obviously do. He's like the biggest name in hip hop at the moment. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he came back hard though. The beat was hard. He done his thing. I wouldn't say he got like, you know, the floor wasn't wiped with him in a sense. Cannabis is Cannabis, isn't it? So he's like, it's gonna go that way. But he came back out swinging. But yeah, definitely Cannabis. But yeah, that was a good shout. That was enjoyable time actually. All right, so I'm gonna look at my last one because we wanted to look at 3 each, right? Believe it or not, I had Cannabis down. And I also had 50 and Ja Rule down, but you know me, Mr. Honorable Mention. So I always have a couple of honorable mentions tucked away to be on the safe side. So because like I said, we don't really plan we don't, you know what I mean, break down what we're looking at. So just in case. So one of the honorable mentions that I had aside was Jadakiss and Beanie Siegel. Go that one.
That was my next one, man.
Ah, man. But bro, when we're talking lyrically, that has to be mentioned, man. Like, what was it? Like early 2000, 2001, 2. Yeah,
around
1, 2.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, right. You got to think about this, bro. As you know, man, those two, even though I weren't really that keen on Kiss the Game Goodbye, but those two MCs at that time, two of the best. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because obviously Beanie Siegel's on Reservoir Dogs. Do you know what I mean? I think he was on Rough Riders track with obviously Rough Riders as well. So they seem like they would have been people that would have been cool. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, once again, like the whole thing we're talking about with Cannabis and LL, miscommunication, misunderstanding. I think Jadakiss made a few comments that I think he made a comment about Philly, innit, or something. And Beanie Siegel probably took it the wrong way, started throwing shots and all of that, and then it started going back and forth. But yeah, man, those were good battles, bro. Like for a time, I think it did get a bit physical through their crew in it. But like you said, in regarding the whole 50 and that, take that away. Just on wax lyrically, that's probably one of the best battles we've seen, man.
Yeah,
Them two going, do you know what I'm saying? Them two going back and forth, not really no real like hesitations. They were going at it and they were going in, do you know what I mean? Beanie talking about his sun kiss, Jadakiss talking about he ate too many Max and all this and stuff. They were, and Max Jam and all of that. He was going at the whole crew. They were going at each other, man. And I think it's a good beef to go back to every now and then. Sometimes I just go back to it and listen to the retaliation tracks and that. Yeah, and I think they were good battles, man. If I had to pick who I think came out victorious, I'm probably gonna go at Jadakiss. For me, lyrically, I think he just got the edge. And what we're doing with this, who we think won, we're not looking at like industry-wise or what they've done after, just like on paper, track for track, that I'm gonna have to go at Jadakiss. I think he was a bit more skillful with it. But just because that's more him as an MC, so I'm gonna go with Jadakiss. But yeah, I'll put that down as it was one of my honorable mentions in case one was mentioned, which it was. But yeah, Beanie Sigel and Jadakiss, man. And I give it to Jadakiss.
Cool. Ice Cube versus NWA.
All right.
So one man versus a crew. Okay, that could have been interesting. Then how did Ice Cube manage to wipe the floor with them in one tune?
Crazy.
Possibly the most dangerous diss track ever made. No Vaseline. Man wasn't holding back. Said his piece.
Even the title alone.
Chest.
Yeah.
He wasn't messing about, man. Wasn't messing about at all. Yeah, would I say it's the best diss track? Probably.
Okay.
Just because we knew what he was saying was true. There wasn't no like Fantasia in there. He started talking about Jerry Heller and all that. I was like, oh man, this guy, nice. Gone too far, Cube.
It was ruthless, man. Like, you know,
he proper ruthless, yeah. So yeah. So yeah, it gave me that song. NWA's response was a bit tame, if I'm being honest. It was
for a crew like that.
For a crew, like you got Ren in there and all that, I thought that's a bit light. And considering that it's a whole crew on one guy, the crew should have wiped the floor with him.
That shows you though, innit? Because Cube done most of the writing and stuff. Really, it was Ren v them, innit? Ren v Cube, really, innit?
Yeah, exactly that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's a very easy victory to call on that one. But it was very entertaining while it lasted. Because the thing about No Vaseline is because it was such a banger, it wasn't just like a good diss record. People are playing that shit, like people repeatedly playing that. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's an actual banger. Like the beat is hard, and like his rapping is hard as well. So it's a song that people will continue to play. So I think Cube won out of the easy W on that one, man. I don't think that's close.
Nah, I agree. And it's funny to pick up on a point you said. When a diss track is actually a good song, that's why people think it's me, Stan and Jay, but Takeover's a better song than Ether. Like, who's really gonna? Well, I shouldn't say who because people will, but I would play Takeover not as a diss track. I just thought it was a good track. It was hard. Yeah, the beat's hard. I thought it was good. Ether, you're listening for what he's saying for the diss, and then that's kind of it. I don't think it's a good song. You know what I'm saying?
I hate the beat, man. To this day, man, I can't.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. There's times when it's like, "Whoa, this is hard," and there's times when it's just like, you know what I mean? Like the beat to like "Got Yourself a Gun," do you know what I mean? If he done it with that, say like even that would have been a bit more.
That would be crazy.
Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, and I think he had that beat for like ages before he even done anything with it. Do you know what I mean? So maybe he weren't even sure if he liked it himself. But yeah, it's interesting when you can play this track. Like for me, like, okay, you made a comment before. You said you think No Vaseline is probably one of the hardest diss tracks that you've heard. I was going to ask you what would be a standout diss track for you. So would you say No Vaseline would probably be one of the most savage ones you've heard then, in your opinion?
I think it's just because it was just to the point, and I think at the time as well, like for them to be so big, I think that's why it impacted so much, because you were like, wow, like these guys are on top of the world. And after one album, they're like, Q's made this song about them. Yeah. So I think that's why, because it was more than just how good the song was. It was like, it was the impact of it as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I have that as one of them. I mean, there's been more savage ones where people have spoken about families, and you know what I mean, as we were saying earlier about like 50 started off that line with about, you know, as dirty ass kids. So yeah, there's been plenty of that, but I don't know. That's why I think I'd hold it at number one, just because of the impact. It dismantled his target. You can still play that tune now, you know, 30 odd years later, or whatever, and it's still slap. So yeah, I think to tick all those boxes, man.
Agreed, man. No, I agree with that, man. I've got to say, Hit 'Em Up for me, man. I know there's been a lot of back and forth talk where people's like, Hit 'Em Up's overrated.
It is overrated, man.
No, and you know what? I can understand why people say that, and I wasn't even going to mention anything to do with that, because I don't even think that, like we spoke about, that's a beef, but it's not a battle, because we never got nothing but indirects from Biggie. Yeah, we never got no kind of, you know what I mean, response. But talking about diss tracks, I think it was the shock of it, man. Like when I heard it, I was literally like, rah. And like we spoke about, when you were saying before, you feel like people, you know, feel like you got to pick a side. I've said it a million times, man. 1995, Biggie was my favorite rapper. You know what I mean? Did I listen to Hit 'Em Up? Yes. You know what I'm saying? It was on repeat, bro. I thought the track was so hard, man. The beat,
I rinsed that
flow. Yeah, come on, man. Like, I know everyone disses Outlaws. I think they still held it down. Maybe it's just the way Tupac is anyway. Everyone knows how passionate he is, but it's just like, it's like he was drooling in that, man. It was just like foaming at the mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just like,
he must have been drunk as hell when he recorded that song, man.
Bro, he was just savage, man. Even like you said, speaking about his wife and all, just, you know what I mean? Like, remember I used to let you sleep on the couch, and then the video, you know what I mean? Bro, like, it was savage.
He was on something with that whole process. The video was very manic. The ranting at the end of the song.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you know what I mean? It was just, I think that was the most savage part of it, was what he was saying at the end, where he was, you know what I mean?
You and your mama.
And it's just got like everyone putting you, like, man, having you got sick or something, like you've got it.
Bro, like
come on, man.
He was on one, man. He was literally, he weren't happy, man. That's what I mean. It's the whole thing just felt like, it felt savage, man. That's why when I think about like standout savage tracks, I always think about Hit 'Em Up. But once again, I think it's an enjoyable song. Like, just to listen to it as a song, I'll listen to Hit 'Em Up. You know
saying? I mean, the Outlaws. I mean,
I think there's a right on that.
If people are being completely honest, no one plays the Outlaws verses, bro. You listen to Tupac's verse, you press skip.
I literally thought it was hard, the whole thing. There was a time when it's like, get out the way, get out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought Outlaws are holding it down on that track, man. I enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many people stand by you on that one and put an Eastern flag up next to their bio.
I'm on the island on that one, for real, man. I thought they went in, man. But the track on the whole, I thought it was hard, bro. Like, but what was you gonna say about KRS before I forget? What beef was you gonna mention with KRS?
Oh, just KRS versus the lot from Queens, man.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I was thinking of okay, yeah, talk about that a little bit. What are you saying about that?
Well, the bridge is over. What do I need to say? Like, I even heard Shan talking about it recently, and he was like, man, when that song came on, he was like, I just knew that. Because he was like, not only was he talking shit about us, but the tune was hard. So you've got the whole club just reciting the lyrics. You know what I mean? And the whole like, bye, and people are like, bro, and you're just getting shut up on the tune. It was actually mad. That must have been a terrible time for Queens, man. Because that tune. Actually, was like a bowling ball to the Skittles, man.
Definitely, man. And that's when you know KRS has got that Jamaican in him though, that battle. Do you know what I mean? Like he's like, nah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He's like, let's do this. But yeah, that was, and it's a shame because when I like hear Shan talk about it, you actually can like still see the pain. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like it's still raw. It's like it happened yesterday. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, he's still like, yeah, that he's got to be like, that one did hurt. I've still got a scar for that one.
Of course, man. That's actually mad. But yeah, man. All right, man. So these are like significant battles. You know what I mean, people that have come lyrically held it down, gone back and forth for a while. But obviously, this is our generation. I've heard a lot of people say, you know, old head, stuck in the 90s, whatever. We spoke about a few. What you just mentioned was 80s. We mentioned a lot from the 90s, early noughties. All right. But let's say, what would you say is some of the, like, what's an overrated battle that comes to mind to you? Like when we hear people talk about diss songs and they mention this song and you're like, bro, that really weren't nothing when you play it back to back with no Vaseline. Do you know what I'm saying? What would come to mind for you?
Drake and that skinny annoying Meek Mill.
100, man. That's exactly what I had down in my list, bro. Like it was
because
mad overrated.
Completely honest, man. There was no disses on back to back. How are you calling that a diss track? He said, I think he said one line, is that your world tour or your girls tour? That's the only line you can tell me that is a line aimed at Meek Mill. How would, like, because I listened to it and I was like, where's the diss?
It's weak, man. It's weak.
You like the what? You like the beat? Okay. You like one line that he said, and that makes it one of the greatest beef records of all time.
Nah, bro, not at all. Not at all. I liked when he said, I liked that bar about obviously the world tour. And when he said that's not what she meant when she said to open up more, I actually laughed out loud at that bit. I thought that was clever. That made me laugh. You know what I'm saying? That's not what she meant by open up more. You know what I'm saying? Like, so obviously he's opening up for her, but they're talking about relationship, open up. I thought that was clever. But looking at the whole track, bro,
that's what okay, cool. What else did you say about him?
That's what I'm saying. You can't be putting up against, and I think it's because at the time, I guess obviously Drake's one of the biggest stars. Meek Mill was big at the time as well. That's what people are going by, like the height of these two artists going at each other. But when that's all said and done, the tracks ain't to hold no weight.
Yeah, the tracks are shit. And the response from Meek Mill was,
after how long? Yeah,
it was trash. Yeah. And people literally waiting for that. Like, okay, what's he got? Like, he's got a battle background and he's from Philly. And when he dropped it, I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah, no. What's that I mean, man? Just and he's so loud.
And yeah. So I just can't rate that battle. Sorry, I can't, because I can't even call it a battle. I can't say that it was a direct diss song from Drake, because he was talking about all other stuff on the song, and Meek Mill's was just rubbish. So doesn't stand the test of time to me. And people talk about Drake versus Meek. Nah, Drake versus Push. Now Push, Push actually, you know, put your business out there for everyone to see there. There was no mistake about who he was talking about. You know what I mean? He wasn't doing all this side dissing or sneak dissing. He was telling you, this is who I'm talking about, and I'm going to tell you some shit about him. So he went straight for the jugular, which I fully respect in a battle. Now that I would call a battle. Drake's one was not. I think there was maybe again one or two lines aimed at Push, but people say that whatever it was called, something freestyle, was a diss track to Push. It wasn't. It was a diss track to Kanye.
Yeah, I don't remember the track, you know, bro.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. But basically, what he's actually talking about more on the song is Kanye. So it wasn't even aimed at Push. There was a small portion of it that was aimed at Push. So when Push come back with, you know, Adidon, well,
yeah,
it was a rap then, isn't it? So yeah, that's what I would say was better between Drake beefs, Drake versus Push, rather than Drake versus Meek Mill, because the Meek Mill one, I don't understand what the rating. Like there was no good back and forth. He was like, "Oh, who won? Oh, that was a bar. Oh, that was a song."
Yeah.
I don't get the furor for that, to be honest.
And that's what I mean. I think, and sometimes that's what I mean when people say old head this, old head that, but maybe it's just because of the era we come from. Do you know what I'm saying? And I know certain heads that are maybe a little bit older than us that will even talk about some of the beats we'll talk about and say, "Oh, that was nothing compared to some like LL Cool J or Ice-T or some other beats." You know what I mean? That happened before, but it's like it just feels like everything's just got so soft because like that, bro. That ain't. They're not diss tracks, man. Do you know what I'm saying? They're really not. When you look at what we've the few we've just thrown out today, we ain't even got into it. Breaking down lyrics and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're really looking at the way some of these guys have gone in, like Pusha T went and studied. Like he went and done his homework like it was a boxing match. He went and watched like his maneuvers. And same, like when you look at some of the tracks we've listed, do you know what I mean? The No Vaseline, the Takeovers and the Ethers, like these kind of tracks, they studied, bro. Like they went and they gave you information, things that we had never heard before.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like we're like, bro, I didn't even know that situation. Like
nowadays you get it in a tweet.
Yeah, and that's, bro.
Oh, remember back in '87 when this happened? It's like, nah, we don't want that shit.
Bro, that's actually mad that you said that. Yeah, that's what it is because everything's aired. Any little argument is all over social media. Exactly. Back then, you're listening to a track. Exactly. You're like, right, is that what happened when Jay's talking about the whole gun in the dresser and having more in common? Get it common? You know what I mean? Little things like he's doing all those things, and then obviously Nas is talking about him taking his Tybo lessons. So we ain't gonna know all of that. You know what I mean? We ain't got social media and paparazzis following Jay-Z out with his black belt. Do you know what I mean? We don't know none of that. So when we're listening to diss tracks, we're getting information as well. Exactly. Now it's just like
we know that already. Yeah.
You know what I mean, but yeah, beefs and hip hop, man. Interesting.
Yeah. But you know, as we said, man, just keep that shit on record, man.
100%.
I mean, we have some great classic moments that have stayed on record. You know, no one got hurt, no one got shot, no one got killed. But again, yeah, it could be as disrespectful as possible, man. But just stop giving people ammunition to aim at hip hop, man. Enough people profit out of death from hip hop. Like, you know, when I'm seeing like Tupac merch and stuff, I'm like, you people, man. You know what I mean? Like, how many posthumous albums is that man dropped? Like 10. Like recycled voices, horrible Eminem beats, all kinds of nonsense, man. Just letting these people profit like of the fact that he's no longer here. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's literally nothing to gain from it, like apart from just death. You know what I mean? That doesn't need to happen. Like the amount of people, not just Pac and Biggie, but the amount of people that were killed around that in LA.
Yeah.
Like gang members were just dropping like flies around that time. So it's not just the artists that died. There's like families, like daughters, sons, aunties, uncles, blah blah blah, that are still like, you know what I mean. But we don't get to care about that because it wasn't Tupac and Biggie.
That's what I mean. His own cousin, isn't it? Gaddafi was killed. Was it a couple of weeks after as well? After Tupac died. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. But you know. Yeah, it's true. It's the fallout, isn't it?
Yeah, and like people have made millions off the death of these artists. Vlad made millions off the death of them. Loads of other people, like there's that detective, that LA detective, whatever his name was, like he's made a whole career. You know what I'm saying? Like based off their deaths. Like need to stop that happening, man. Need to stop that happening. So. Just the classic moments, like, you know what I mean, the Jada Kiss and Beans and just songs going back and forth and who's the best. You know, people might get thrown off a stage or whatever. That's that's fine. It's just the other stuff that we don't need, man. It's the extras going too overboard. Yeah, man, pulling a gun because someone dissed you on record, man. It's not the one. So. Yeah, man. As long as they stay, you know, as diss tracks and stuff like that, then I will always be entertained by a diss track. I'd want to hear the response. I'd want to know the background. Why is this happening? How is it happening? Whatever.
Exactly.
Like you were saying before, just getting your information on the records and not on Twitter. Yeah, man, I'll still be all for that for sure. Still be willing
Same,
for that.
bro. Same.
As long as it's the music, man. That's it.
Agree fully, man. Yeah, man.
Nice.
Battle of
So,
the Beast, man.
yeah, man. So thank you guys once again for checking us out. Much respect to all of you. Much love to all of you. And from me, your co-host Slack, and my co-host extraordinaire,
E Major. Once again, man, nothing but love. Appreciate you joining in, man. And yeah, throw some comments on. I know there's loads of beasts that we ain't mentioned for time's sake, but yeah, man, throw some comments on what were some battles that you enjoyed, man. But yeah, like Slack, man. Like Slack said, appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you again next week, man. Stay blessed.
Yeah. See you next week, man. Peace, guys.
Peace, man.